The largest single funder of Al-Shabaab, the terrorist organization in Somalia, are the Minnesota taxpayers.
Explain that.
The fraud and corruption that goes on in this community, hundreds of millions of dollars in feeding our future, hundreds of millions of dollars in daycare fraud, money that is taken in that fraud doesn't stay here. Millions of dollars per month in cash are sent out the Minneapolis airport legally. I've got $100,000 in cash. I'm putting it on this plane and going with me. You can do that as long as you declare it. It goes east, and it ends up in people's hands that will do mischief and bad things to the United States.
Why do you think they were slow to take action on this? Why was Governor Walz, was he unaware this was happening? Was he worried about the optics because of the people that were committing many of these crimes? What do you think it was?
This is a metal-on-metal conversation for the Democrats. I mean, this is a tough thing. You've got people that are getting harmed and hurt and businesses leaving, but they're being disadvantaged by a group that's been disadvantaged. So who's got the greater victim status? We need to have rules, similar values, and understand what we're doing. And then when they go outside the lines, we need to stop that.
For people who aren't aware, the neighborhood we're in right now, where are we?
We are in southeast Minneapolis near the University of Minnesota. This was an urban renewal project area, and as folks have come in and cycled out, come into an apartment, make enough money, buy a house in first-ring suburbs, second-ring suburbs, raise your family kind of thing. That's what this used to be, is kind of a feeder system for that. It has now been a concentration of mostly East African, some West African, but mostly East African.
So this is an urban renewal area. Do you feel like there's been much renewal taking place?
On the surface, it looks like we've got a light rail train going through here. We've got buses that are new and a nice park. And yes, on the surface, it looks quite pleasing. In other areas around here, at certain times of the day, it's not so pleasing. So you can do all you want to the facade of a building. The people are what generates the culture and the behaviors. And you need to be able to communicate and connect with the people here to show them what's available and what's okay and what's not okay.
Is there cultural assimilation happening in the community here?
That's part of the problem. Not enough of it. Some of these folks have come here and they've never held a pencil. The first thing that they do is they learn to hold a pencil, and an X is their mark on a contract for education. Some folks we have to teach how to use the bathroom. At the school, we would have teachers, mostly female, that would be giving a pencil to a student, an adult, to take a test, and the student would say, "Are you clean? I'm not going to take that pencil from you unless you're clean." And that doesn't work here. They won't go on a field trip where Mozart's being played in the background without having a fit.
Why?
The music is, that Western music is not okay. And we can't get inside the community. That's part of the other issue here. They're distrustful of the great Satan. They're distrustful of law enforcement. They're distrustful of government. They're distrustful of banks. That's a lot to unwrap and unpack. And you add to that the PTSD stuff and all the stuff that goes with becoming a refugee. It's a complicated person that gets here because the population, particularly Somalis, their country is in chaos. Most of them that came here lived in a refugee camp in Kenya that held 500,000 people. You got out of there through the lottery system, which meant that you had to work the system. So you might have gone in there as Faisal Ali and you left as Faisal just so you could get out of the system. And so once you're living a different identity, it's easy to perpetuate that identity here. It's understandable that in the system that they grew up in, lawlessness, every man out for themselves, grab what you can, the government's corrupt, so therefore anytime you can take advantage of it, you should. That's what you import. That's what we get.